So this is pretty crazy. OpenAI just introduced Deep Research, their next AI agent. It states, Deep Research is an agent that uses reasoning to synthesize large amounts of online information and complete multi-step research tasks for you. Available to pro users today, Plus and Team next. So this is OpenAI's next agent, or their second agent. We saw Sam Altman talk about this recently in a post on X, where he stated, our next agent will launch with availability in the Plus tier, along with promising to bring their first agent, Operator, to the Plus tier as well. We now have two agents releasing very soon from OpenAI. We already covered Operator, so let's get into Deep Research. They state, today we're launching Deep Research in ChatGPT, a new agentic capability that conducts multi-step research on the internet for complex tasks. It accomplishes in tens of minutes what would take a human many hours. Okay, so pretty crazy statement right off the bat there, but let's continue. Deep Research is OpenAI's next agent that can do work for you independently. You give it a prompt, and ChatGPT will find, analyze, and synthesize hundreds of online sources to create a comprehensive report at the level of a research analyst. Powered by a version of the upcoming OpenAI o3 model that's optimized for web browsing and data analysis, it leverages reasoning to search, interpret, and analyze massive amounts of text, images, and PDFs on the internet, pivoting as needed in reaction to information it encounters. So this is basically like having your own personal researcher that can scour the web and get you the relevant information you need. The difference between this and a human research analyst is that it can scour through the countless websites, articles, and research papers simultaneously for any topic and at a moment's notice. That statement they made in the beginning, that it accomplishes in tens of minutes what would take a human many hours, doesn't seem so crazy anymore, assuming it is as good as they're making it sound. And based on some other stuff we are going to see later in the video, it does seem to be. Now, moving on, they state, the ability to synthesize knowledge is a prerequisite for creating new knowledge. For this reason, Deep Research marks a significant step toward our broader goal of developing AGI, which we have long envisioned as capable of producing novel scientific research. So, Deep Research, this agent capable of literally performing research autonomously on the internet, is basically the beginning or one of the very early steps towards building AI researchers. That is, AIs that can do AI research. I know this graph gets talked about a lot, but as I've said many times before and will say many times again, the moment we have AI researchers, that is again, AIs performing AI research, essentially self-improving AI, is the moment we reach the singularity. Or as ex-OpenAI researcher Leopold Aschenbrenner calls it, the intelligence explosion. The moment that AI can design better AI than humans can, which creates a positive feedback loop that results in the exponential acceleration and proliferation of intelligence. Now, who knows how this will actually all play out, but the point is, we're getting really close to having AI researchers. So when would you use something like this? Well, if you work in areas like finance, science, or engineering perhaps, or maybe you are a student, you are probably doing a lot of research as part of your job. But really, you can use this for anything you want. It's basically like Google search, but instead of having to sift through the links one by one and read everything yourself, you have this AI agent do it for you in minutes, as opposed to the hours it would have taken you, and you're left with a comprehensive report on its findings that are relevant to your specific question. Pretty insane. Now, here they mention Deep Research independently discovers, reasons about, and consolidates insights from across the web. To accomplish this, it was trained on real-world tasks requiring browser and Python tool use, using the same reinforcement learning methods behind OpenAI o1, our first reasoning model. And that Deep Research builds on these reasoning capabilities, referring to o1's reasoning capabilities, to bridge that gap, allowing it to take on the types of problems people face in work and everyday life. So this agent Deep Research is essentially OpenAI's o1 model, paired with tool use, and trained to conduct research from real-world tasks. So you realize that this means as OpenAI's O model series gets better, so as they scale up their O models and we get to O4 and O5 and so on, the agents are literally going to get better along with it. I can't help but think about the amount of jobs these agents are going to replace. Anyways, let's take a look at how this thing actually works. Here's a clip they've provided of a woman who got early access to OpenAI's Deep Research and who uses it regularly in her line of work. Take a look.
So you start up with a question and you might not know anything about it. And then you put your researcher's hat on and you're like, let me think about this a bit more. Where can I go look? Well, my name is Reem Anshasi. I am a director in the Research and Data Services Department in Bain, San Francisco. Good research, to me, is being able to deliver the latest data, the most credible data. It's difficult because the research topics have become much more niche, and that's why we continuously innovate to make sure we're capturing all these nuances. I got access to deep research, and what I liked about it is that it really is trying to understand what the requester needs, even down to like, what geographies are you looking at? What industries are you looking at? All these tools can help enhance that. This week, I've been working on the semiconductor chip shortage. I want to understand the underlying reasons and which industries were affected the most and what the outlook will be for the next few years. So I put in a prompt. I asked it to look at industry publications, consulting briefs, publicly available data, as well as data from semiconductor associations. It summed up rather quickly what the underlying causes were and provided some context. And if you hover over the source, you can see that it leads you to a website. It will give me a very holistic view. And I'm excited because I can do it much faster now. I think alongside ChatGPT, AI, deep research, these kind of tools increase my personal capacity so that I can use my time doing other research tasks. For me, that is the joy of research, staying curious and always keeping an open mind and learning.
So definitely an extremely helpful tool. Now let's take a look at how it performs on some benchmarks. On Humanities Last Exam, a recently released evaluation that tests AI across a broad range of subjects on expert level questions, the model powering deep research scores a new high at 26.6% accuracy. So this is a very new benchmark. I think I talked about it in a video last week actually, and it consists of thousands of challenging questions across hundreds of subjects. If we look at the leaderboard here, the only thing that comes close to its score is OpenAI's O3 Mini High, which scores only 13%. So think about it. OpenAI's O1 model, which scores 9.1% on this benchmark, was introduced roughly 2 months ago at the start of December. Then they released O3 Mini literally just a few days ago, which scores 13%. And now, today, OpenAI introduces Deep Research, which scores 26.6%. That is incredibly fast progress. By the way, DeepSeek's R1 actually slightly outperforms O1 on this benchmark by 0.3%. Now, on another benchmark called the GAIA, which evaluates AI on real-world questions, the model powering deep research reaches a new state-of-the-art, topping the external leaderboard. As you can see, for each level of difficulty, it outperforms the previous state-of-the-art. Now, this part is really interesting. So they state, in an internal evaluation of expert-level tasks across a range of areas, deep research was rated by domain experts to have automated multiple hours of difficult manual investigation. And as shown on this graph, the more the model browses and thinks about what it's browsing, the better it does, which is why giving it time to think is important. So this makes perfect sense, because since the deep research agent is based off OpenAI's old model series, which is based off test time scaling, they are simply applying the test time scaling law to agents instead of LLMs. Essentially, the more time they give the agent to do a task, no matter what that task is, the better it will do it, similar to a human. So again, as these old models get better, so will the agents. Now, there are of course still some major limitations given how new these agents are. It states, deep research unlocks significant new capabilities, but it's still early and has limitations. It can sometimes hallucinate facts in responses or make incorrect inferences, though at a notably lower rate than existing ChatGPT models, according to internal evaluations. It may struggle with distinguishing authoritative information from rumors, and currently shows weakness in confidence calibration, often failing to convey uncertainty accurately. So essentially, if it doesn't know the answer, it won't just say that it doesn't know, it might just give you a false answer. Definitely make sure to double check the information it provides you, especially when it seems off if you're going to be using it for important work. But overall, I think this is one of the craziest products OpenAI has ever released or will release. Agents are going to be like another major ChatGPT moment for AI, and it's probably going to happen this year, if not the next. If you're wondering when you might get to actually use deep research, well, first of all, if if you have Pro mode, I'd say check your account as you should already have it. But for everyone else, they mention here that all paid users will soon get significantly higher rate limits when we release a faster, more cost-effective version of deep research powered by a smaller model that still provides high-quality results. And that if all safety checks continue to meet their release standards, they anticipate releasing deep research to plus users in about a month. So we'll see if that turns out to be the case. OpenAI has been known to delay a release or two in the past. Now, before we look at what's coming next and what OpenAI's plans are for this, Sam Altman announced deep research in a post on X and actually gave us some extra details that I wanted to mention. So he states, this version will be something like 10 per month for plus tier users and a very small number for free tier users, but that they are working on a more efficient version. So I guess here he means like 10 searches per month, which doesn't seem like a lot, but I mean, if it's conducting research for minutes at a time, it's likely using a ton of compute. He also said 50 cents of compute for $500 of value. Now, I don't know how exactly he's calculating the value there and like what kind of value is he referring to. I assume economic value, but definitely just a wild statement. I mean, these are the type of numbers that makes companies want to stop hiring humans. Finally, what's next? Currently, deep research can access the open web and any uploaded files. In the future, you'll be able to connect to more specialized data sources, expanding its access to subscription-based or internal resources to make its output even more robust and personalized. Looking further ahead, we envision agentic experiences coming together in ChatGPT for asynchronous, real-world research and execution. The combination of deep research, which can perform asynchronous online investigation, and operator, which can take a real-world action, will enable ChatGPT to carry out increasingly sophisticated tasks for you. So that is OpenAI's deep research agent. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what the combination of operator and deep research brings, and also just to watch how these agents get more and more capable over time. I think this is honestly one of the biggest steps towards AGI that OpenAI has taken in its entire lifetime as a company. I'm curious to hear what you guys think about this though. Anyways, that is all for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. And as always, if you want to stay up to date on future AI news just like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button.